Hello, everybody from the future. This is a message from the past. It's February 6th, maybe 7th by the time I post this, just kind of depends. But, learning life lessons from work is quite fascinating. Once you start living with intent and purpose and trying to find the lessons in every aspect of your life, it really brings out a new side of you. And especially when you see it from the viewpoint that you should especially be tackling those things that are hardest for you. And I would say by far from management, the toughest thing I've ever had to do by far has been firing people or writing people up. I feel like writing people up becomes more frequent than firing people because, people get multiple chances, multiple write-ups before they're actually they're in trouble every time, but they don't actually get held accountable for it until it gets so bad that you just can't do it anymore as a manager, and you have to do something about it, like firing someone or taking someone off the schedule, suspending them, cutting their pay, laying somebody off. At least this lesson that I'm learning has to do with where my boundaries are. I talked about boundaries, I think, yesterday or so, because you can't just let people walk all over you. As an empath, I find that it's very common for people to let other people walk all over you just because you want them to be happy, and you kind of waylay your own happiness because of it. But as a manager, you're also not just dealing with you, you're dealing with your employees, you're dealing with everybody else that you represent. And you can't let them down by letting somebody else just walk all over them too, because you are the power that can take care of the problem. If you choose not to take care of the problem, then you become the enabler, and you are just as responsible as the person doing it. This goes for everything in life, and not just working management. If you're a parent and you're enabling a child to do something, or a friend to do something, even if it's to you or to other friends, you need to realize you're just as responsible. And you need to step up to the plate and be like, no more. This is it. Growing up, one thing that I really held close to my heart was holding myself accountable and responsible for things that I believed were truth or agreed with. For instance, I had a friend who I didn't know at the time was a compulsive liar, but she was also lying to me about everything, so I didn't really know better. But every time in class she would say that something outrageous, it could be anything, that her family's fucking rich, or, excuse my language, or her twin sister had a fake boob pop or something. Everyone else would be like, that's a total lie. Like, that person doesn't even exist. I've never heard of or seen them before. And because I would hear her talk about it all the time, she'd be like, yeah, that's true, right? Right, Abby? And I'd be like, well, yeah, I hear about it all the time. As soon as I learned that all that stuff was lies, like actual lies, I stopped associating myself with her completely, because I just felt like I was a liar. I felt like it made me a liar. And as soon as I learned that, I was done. And I've done that to other people too. Just as soon as I've found a lie that kind of put myself in it too, I was done. I have a pretty easy time cutting people off like that. But with management and firing people, it's a whole nother facet of teaching other people a lesson through pain? Not necessarily pain, but you're just teaching them a hard lesson that they wouldn't learn otherwise. Even though it's not something you want to do, it's still something that you need to do. You grow from it. I'm having growing pains. I mean, like, I'm breaking out right now it's been a couple months since I broke out. And it's just been this one day. Everything's come to a climax, and something has to be done. Changes need to be made. Needed to be made? I don't know. There's still more changes to be done. It's hard to get everything done in one day. And the work is never done. But I just wanted you to start thinking about whether or not you are an enabler, and whether or not you are also responsible for somebody's behavior, because if you're letting them use you as a facet to perform their acts, then you are also responsible for it to a degree. You're responsible for stopping it from continuing, okay? You can't just hide behind the excuse forever. So, it's been a really long day. So I'm pretty tired, and it was even a stretch, like taking a shower, much less making a video. But I just wanted to talk about it because it's really hard. I don't like hurting other people. I don't know if that's the right word. To me, it's like hurting. Disciplining to me is associated with pain. Not because of anything that I grew up with, but probably because I'm just a really empathetic and soft person, and I like people to be happy around me, and so when I cause unhappiness, it hurts me as well. But in the long run, you're probably teaching them a much better and harder lesson by stepping up to the plate and telling them a hard truth, rather than letting them continue on with their cycle of nonsense. Because usually you are the one who pays the price. Especially as an employer. If you own your own business, you don't want that kind of thing going on. Because you're losing money, you're losing PR, you're losing everything. You gotta put an end to it. You gotta find those people who you can surround yourself with that are responsible and are just as interested in success as you are. Okay? So you go on living your future life and have that little nugget to think on. Alright? Thank you for listening, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, good night.